Hello again, people. Right, I thought I'd give a quick cable update. It's about 20 minutes since my last trade, my third trade of the morning. In other words, 3 times my daily requirement, cash-wise, has finished. And the point about this is planning your trade and trading the plan. And really and truthfully, all I've done really is draw a few lines on the charts. Highs of monthly, as you can see if you watch the previous chart video, highs on the monthly, lows on the monthly, and the same for the weekly and the daily and previous weeks and previous months to the current ones. So going back 2 or 3 candles, then always looking on the left as well to make sure, but effectively that's what you're doing anyway, but you want to be looking long way left on your chart as well, you know, for example in the monthly over here and over here to see where, and even here where ultimately this has got to break through to continue on further up. So left of your chart, left in candlesticks, left in swings, and just keep doing that. And I know it looks a complete mess on that chart there with all the levels, but as I've said in previous videos, that you do need to watch if you want to understand exactly what my thought process is, then it will all make sense, because when you're scalping on the 5-minute or the 1-minute chart, you've got the important thing is you find clearer air, which I've mentioned in previous videos. So don't cut corners. You need to look at some of the previous videos of mine, or preferably all of them, and to understand how I think. So the plan was every time frame was screaming bullishness on this cable chart, and then all I have to do, as all these line traders that we talk about, Billy TT, Claudia 1, Lem, and to an extent, although I'm still not fully sure how Aussie and Digger do their trades on Aussie's thread, which I've talked about in previous videos as well. But at the end of the day, inspirational that they can take the number of winning trades they do with very few losers, sometimes 50-60 trades a day, and I'll mention it again, hundreds of thousands of dollars a week in Digger's case, and 100,000 plus a day is a regular occurrence for him. And bearing in mind he runs his massive farming business as well, so it's just phenomenal. And Aussie's, I think he's averaging about 50,000-60,000 Aussie dollars a day. So incredible traders, inspirational traders, but that doesn't explain why I traded this long. So I'll just quickly mention the ins and outs of that. And the technicals are, I was always long. I just want to wait for, that's why I love my indicators so much, the indicators to confirm what's going on. And this one that I can't share was telling me go long at this point. And not only that, but then there's a descending trend line that we know are massively important, and this candle represented a pullback here, so you could have considered entering there, but it wasn't in alignment, and I was making a cup of coffee. Then we had another pullback scenario here, and I've mentioned this before, I entered based on the candlestick analysis as opposed to the indicator, because I would have broken some of my rules if I'd had to wait for this to close. I would have got in, it would have meant I got in at the top, but what I did, I used the M15 really, because remember, higher time frames always take precedence over lower, and M15 had just turned and as I said, my indicator was giving me conflicting, or I didn't say this, but often I get conflicting, which is why I love this one so much more now, which is why you can get this for free, RSI Histo Alert, and you haven't got to worry about this. Find another one that, of course, acts as your braces, belt and braces, remember I talk about, by all means. Or if you don't need it, then this, in my opinion, this thing is good enough. And then we'll just check the 1 minute, see what was going on there. So remember, we had a descending trend line. We've got a trend in place now, high, low, lower, high. Break of that high means we've got the trend. Then you've got swing 4, this pullback, which is accumulation distribution. Excuse me. And so I didn't want to miss the trade. Got a little bit of drawdown. This was fully expected. 6 pips if memory serves me correct. And then it went on to make 7 or 8 pips for me. Excuse me for the coughing. I apologise. And then, the rest of the analysis follows through. This daily support line from I think that's 25th of the 2nd. Daily low was going to cause a problem because support, once broken, will often act as resistance, which is what happened here, in my opinion. And then it's got broken through. It's went on to attack. Oh, remember that there was that 129 level there, big round number that the price has just pushed through nice and strongly. Then used it as it didn't use 129 actually. It used an old H4 high as resistance and support again. No, this is why these lines are so important in my opinion. I don't do this stuff for fun. I make the videos for enjoyment, but the lines drawn every morning on a clean chart are religious. It's how I trade, guys. That's it. You know everything about my trading now, and there were no secrets anyway. I'm not that sort of person, but I'm just showing you how I got my confidence and belief in support and resistance levels, and how it works. I live and breathe candlestick highs and lows, breaks and closes, trends, and candlestick trends. I've talked about that in the past. A candlestick trend, in my opinion, is a low, a high, a high, low, a high, a high. That's a trend. Once it's broken the previous high, low, lower, high, lower, low, that's the broken and closed above it, of course. Forgot to mention that. That is the impetus to go long, and that happens on every time frame. So make the plan, trade the plan. That's what I've done. Just quickly, because I know when I was doing this, it used to take ages and I'd get a eureka moment rewatching a video from my old mentor that would just come out of the blue, which is why I say these things randomly and jump from one subject to the other. I know it's annoying, guys, but I have to do it. It's the way my brain works. This is what I consider to be a candlestick trend. High, low, low. Well, that's not a lower high, but it made a lower low. And when the candle prior to that last low is closed above, that's when I consider the candlestick resistance to be broken. And lots of people I know do this now. But what I want to show you also is how that relates to and I've picked this randomly, so it might be a complete mess. It looks a pretty messy looking example actually, but if we highlight that, it is highlighted, take the scroll off and go down to the lower time frame, divided by 4, you should see the internal of those candles there, and that's the swing trade of that candlestick trade. And here's the low, the high. In fact, that's the high. Low, high, higher low, higher high, pull back, swing 5 is the entry. And if we put it on the line chart, you can probably see that better. Low, well actually the low started earlier. Low, high, higher low, higher high, pull back. So you could have got an earlier entry on that one. And there's your trigger to go long. And what did it do? It went up, and that's it. That's the internal swings of that 1 hour 3 candle formation. And that's it, guys. Sorry, I'm not going to bore you with any more instructions, but candlestick trends, that's why I understand or believe my candlestick analysis is good and reliable. It's because it works. It's worked for 10 years now. I've been at this for 15 years. It took me about 5 years to do this consistently so that I could give up previous businesses and stuff. And so if you're as slow as me, it'll take you 5 years. If you're hot and have the right help, hopefully you should get it within a year or two. Good luck, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.